All right, let's get this set up here. Okay, so we'll do a brief recap of the trades that we've taken this week already. And then look at kind of what to expect next week. Um, right off the bat, this has been a little bit disappointing for me on my trade, but it's been good though. Like we've taken 4 successful trades off of this, so I definitely can't complain there. So let's clean this up a little bit, and we'll take a look at what we've been doing here. Just want to highlight these. Okay, so we have been basically um, we've been trading in this range for some time now. Since last Friday is kind of when the range was put in, right? Friday to Saturday, we got the high and the low of the range, and since then we've been trading in it. We got a couple different trades starting on Monday. We shorted here, took profit at the midline, following, just our channel trading setup here. So basically, short the top of the range, long the bottom of the range, take profit at the midline and the opposite side. So we shorted here, took profit here. I also shorted here. I missed my take profit here, compounded my short here, took profit here and here. I then compounded my short again here and took profit again here. And now at this point, price has been trading in this really, really tight range. And my initial plan, just to show you guys on here, was for something like this, to do a sideways range here, break down and come down and then go up. We can see that out of that sideways range, we actually got a break to the upside. So this plan here is actually, as far as I'm concerned, it's invalidated, right? And I drew sort of a substitute the other day. Let's see where it was here. Yeah. This was the substitute I drew the other day, where basically I was thinking to myself, we'll get a move here, we'll get a move down, and then we'll actually break back up to the top of the range, and then we'll get, that following move down where we actually break through to the downside. Okay. And there's a couple different reasons why, if we just go ahead and look here. Not only is it the top of the range, but if we take and draw a trend line, something like this, right? Here we go. So we can see that this trend line was really well respected. This is where we fell through, back tested it here, and have since been sort of ranging upwards a little bit. For me, like this would be a pretty nice short zone. At the very least, back down to, here, possibly here. And what we'd want really is to come down here for then, the actual continuation to the upside. I have a hard time believing that if we break up above here, that we'll come down and take this low. So if we do break up above here, I would expect, instead of doing something like this, I would really think that we break above and we back test this zone here, hold it as support, and then have continuation to the upside. I don't think that we would fall through. Is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. Anything is possible in this, in the wild, wild west of crypto here. But I, if this is taken, I'm not going to immediately short the weekly here and think, yeah, we're gonna go lower. I'm not gonna keep shorting on the way up. It just wouldn't make sense to me that we would take this high and then come all the way down. If anything, we would, like I said, take the high, tap the weekly, get a move down, and then have continuation to the upside. That's more or less of what I would imagine what would happen here if we took this high. Now, if we don't take the high, that's where this scenario comes into play. We backtest this trend line here, right? We have continuation up. We backtest the trend line. We reject from the trend line and the top of the channel once again. And, we get our move down that we've been looking for. Also making this then, a lower high, come down like this, put in a lower low, and then have market structure change and come back up. Just sweep the highs essentially, right? Or sweep the lows, I mean. So that is what I'm looking for at this point now, is for a setup here. Like I said, keep in mind, if we take this high, I don't think that we're going to come down and sweep this low. I think we'll have more continuation to the upside. So do keep that in mind. I do have my stops put in here. I would consider moving them up to here in the event that we do this, and then I can close at break even for then, move up rather than taking the loss right here. But depending on your risk tolerance, like I said, if this is broken, I don't think that we're going to come down here for that bigger short that we've been looking for. As I've drawn out, this was always kind of my, these are my two positions, that I've been going on about for quite some time. Is basically stop loss above the weekly here, short to midline to the bottom, stop loss below the order block here, long within this zone, look for a move up, TP at the midline. And I think that these both still stand. That said, like, not going lower from here, like I said, I think that this was like a failed breakdown, and now we're just seeing a grind back up, right? So if we don't reject from this zone and ultimately get a move to the downside, I do think that we'll go higher and probably look to, somewhere probably up in here, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at moving forward into either today or into next week. As I've said in the Discord, I don't like to open up new positions on Friday. People are typically closing. The majority of people don't want to hold or trade over the weekend. And I'm one of them too. So, if we get this move up quickly and it's still somewhat early in the day, I would consider taking the trade at least back down to here to close part of that position or back to the midline. Otherwise, I'm mostly just gonna stay out of the trade, right? Yeah, this has just been really interesting. When price even was here, I was right in this zone here. I was considering taking a long here, and the reason being is because it was if you go down to like a lower time frame, this was the 6-6 and also the value area low. So there was a nice bit of confluence here. And I decided not to take this trade because it was just like, we had this move up and it was like this, and then it was like this again. And it just didn't look, in my opinion, it really didn't look good. Like this kind of moved down like this. And the point I'm trying to get at is I'm actually kind of surprised at this move up. And typically whenever I am in a trade and I'm seeing that price is sort of going against what I would normally consider, right? Now, granted, we've been trading a downwards market for a very long time, and we've been trading a lot of sideways markets. So to be in, an uptrending market is you have to have a shift in the way you approach your trades. What's interesting is that you'll build habits. If I just go to if I go here on a daily time frame, when you're trading this, you build up habits to be successful in trading this type of a market. Okay? And there comes a point where those habits, whatever it is that you learn to do on this downtrend to be rewarded, at some point the market will start punishing you for that same behavior, for trading in the same way that you traded this. The market will at some point start punishing you instead of rewarding you for those same trading habits, right? So that's kind of the reason I bring that up is because, like I said, I would have expected this low to be taken here, and I would not have normally longed this, and yet it turned out to be a decent trade right to the upside. And if we have continuation even further, it would have been an even better long trade, right? And if, let's say we do get this and we come down just like I'm kind of looking to trade, well, then that's great. But now if price then continues up again, what happened here? There's a shift in the way that you want to approach your trades, right? Because something is happening that isn't what you thought would happen, right? And in this downtrend and everything that's been going on, I would look at this and I would say, yeah, we are definitely going to reject from here. We're definitely going to come and sweep these lows, probably range a little bit more before going higher, if at all. And because the sentiment has changed so dramatically, right, that longers are a lot more willing to, they're a lot more willing to protect their positions. Like you can see, this low didn't get taken out, and this low didn't get taken out when this low was put in, right? They just cut out all of this mess, but they didn't take out these major lows. And I'm telling you, there is a very large bit of positions below here, right? So if, we're in this sort of ranging market, or if we're in this kind of a market that, that I've been rewarded for in the past to think like, yeah, we're definitely going to take this. If that sentiment has changed and this doesn't get taken, I mean, that's a really big difference, right? And it's something that I've seen, that's been happening here. I mean, really, when you're looking back at this uptrend, I was fairly confident that we would take none of these lows were taken, none of these, and I was very confident that we would at least sweep those equal lows before then moving up. And I mean, that didn't happen. Look at the market structure: low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, so on and so forth, all the way up, right? So there's definitely been a shift in the markets, and I'm taking a little bit of time to share that with you because however you've been trading and you've been rewarded for that trading, it may be time to shift, how you view the markets. And, I think the next week here, the next 2 weeks, especially the FOMC meeting in the first week of February, will all be very telling on, the direction of the market. And generally speaking, I have no reason to think that we won't go higher. The thing is, it's just how aggressive these moves are going to be going higher, right? Are we going to move forward leaving lows like these untouched for maybe like a much larger retracement in the future where, let's say that we trade up significantly higher and we come back and sweep them all? Is that what we're looking at here, where we continue sort of this parabolic rally and we do larger retracements in the future, which is reminiscent of, sort of a bull market rally, which this would, in my opinion, isn't a bull market, but it's a bear market rally, right? Where you're having a series of higher lows and higher highs, and you continue upwards with the grind without taking them out until, a much later time. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, these are my thoughts on BTC. I am noticing differences with BTC, and I've said this for some time, but I don't really see reasons to be bearish. I don't really see reasons to be like overly bearish and shorting and things like that. With the amount of positive delta that's been built up into this push up to the high, I wouldn't think it would be taken out. But nonetheless, if this high holds here, I would imagine that we would see a move down to this side here. Okay, and depending on your risk tolerance, I mean, I will have my stop loss. Likely, I will keep it above here rather than moving it here. And the reason being is if we do break up, I don't imagine we'll punch through here. I think we'll kind of go like this and then go back up. But that said, this is the much safer risk reward option, right? You can risk more by having your stop loss here and entering positions here rather than having your stop loss here and entering positions here. You can have a higher risk reward ratio, and you can risk more of your capital to make more money, right? I should say the risk is lower with the same amount, right? You wouldn't lose as much because it's a smaller margin here. Let's take a look. I just got an alert on LTC. I am curious as to what had happened. Yeah, so I kind of have this formation here. So we had this fair value gap that did get filled. We're having this sort of a move down on LTC. There is something I want to point out to you guys on LTC that just drives me absolutely insane. It drives me crazy to see this. But I am following this pattern here. I would be hesitant on taking a trade off of it at this point with where BTC is at, but if I were, I think a small position here with your stop loss here, might be viable. But it also depends on how you look at this. Like if you draw this up here, then it suggests that we probably could go up and tap that above here, right? In which case we'd want to watch and wait for this channel to play out. So if you want to look at it as if it's a channel, or if you want to look at it as if it's a wedge here, would give you two very different trades and two very different scenarios. The one thing that I do like is that this zone has kind of been an SR flip zone. So to see this sort of back test that area, it could be a signal that we could also be going lower. And you guys know my thoughts on LTC, how we have that harmonic that right now is a little bit ludicrous, but it's there nonetheless. And until it's invalidated, it's on the table. Right now we are at the top of our larger range, and as you guys know, I've been looking for some degree of a deviation of the range, fill the fair value gap here, take out these lows, and then have continuation to the upside. That said, going back to that shift in sentiment that we've talked about quite a bit today, is that if this is going to be more of an overly, throughout the bear market, we would say, yeah, these are definitely going to get taken out, right? But with, more of a rally with this largely bullish sentiment, support will more likely hold a support rather than trying to do sort of this fake out move, right? So it's something to keep in mind, and we'll continue to watch here. But this looks like, I mean, as of right now, resistance, 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 breakthrough, backtest, continuation. I mean, right now that's exactly what that looks like, right? So it's something we'll have to keep an eye on here. There isn't really much here for me to be willing to take like a swing trade or a bigger trade off of. For now, I'm just going to remain patient and see what next week brings. There's nothing really here for me to get too crazy on. Like I said, for me, this is down here in this overall zone, like between this monthly and this order block here. I have a little bit more interest in, say for like a long position or something like that. But as of right now, there isn't too much here that's like enticing me to take a trade. Other than maybe like this scalp that I was just talking about where, SL here, enter here, trade it down. TP1 and possibly trade back down to here for a TP2. But the thing I want to go over with LTC, just to show you guys, it drives me absolutely crazy right now. Like, I cannot stand it. Oops. So LTC has been in this. These are all really important lines. So LTC, we were down. Let's get to the 4 hour. This drives me absolutely insane. Drives me crazy. So we get here, I long, close long here. We get here, and I'm like, I'm not going to long until we take out these lows. So again, this is exactly the same scenario that I'm talking about on BTC right now. As we're here, I'm thinking we'll for sure take out these lows. There's no way that we won't. They're so ripe for the taking. And then what happens? We get this move up. And I'm like, okay, now we'll come down and take the lows. Nope, we get a move up to here. And I'm thinking, okay, now we'll go down and take the lows. No. Then we break up above the overall channel, and now here we are back testing it. We've had all of this continuation to the upside, right? We've had all this continuation to the upside. We have not had any significant retracement to pull back and take out some of these lows here. And here's what drives me absolutely crazy about that is, like, when we got to here, I did open up some shorts, and I'm thinking, yeah, we'll come down, we'll hit 72, we'll kind of do this and come down here, we'll sweep these lows, and then we'll have continuation of the upside. Look at this. These are exactly LTC on USDT pair and BTC pair have like looked almost identical for quite some time. So, I mean, you can see just how closely they are, right? You can see just how closely they look up until here, where it did come down and take out these lows like I wanted to see on the USDT pair. It was pretty funny. I was sort of laughing at myself. I'm like, God, this is exactly what I wanted to happen right here, where it comes down and takes these out. And it did exactly that on the BTC pair, but not the USDT pair. So I was kind of laughing at myself about that one. But, you know, what do you do? And, you know, this is another reason why here as well, you know, when I look at this chart, I would say now that we've taken out a lot of these significant lows here, especially these ones, you know, LTC could be ripe for a pump back up while BTC goes sideways, and we just back tested this. Let's get rid of all these. I don't know why my trading view every once in a while it just like it moves around all of my object tree folders and tools. Anyway, so with, you know, we're back testing here, right? We're back testing the top of the channel on the USDT pair. We took out all the lows on the BTC pair, right? Especially this one was a significant one. You know, if we were to see this rally up while BTC goes sideways, LTC could then see, you know, some degree of continuation to the upside. So it's another thing worth keeping in mind. I'm personally not going to take any trades just yet. I want to see how some things lay out. It is Friday today. Friday is the day to review your trading week, look back on what went well and what did not go well, to do your end of week review in your trading journals. So I'm looking at this. I'm keeping these things in mind. I'm going to, on Sunday night and especially Monday morning, we'll do a whole review and we'll look at what we want to see for the following week on both of these assets, LTC and BTC. But in the meantime, I'm not particularly interested in, you know, taking any new trades today. or over the weekend. It's just not something that I do. But again, I do think that this area here on BTC will be a nice level of resistance if we punch through and take out this high. I definitely won't be looking for shorts. I'll be looking for likely for more of a long position on the back test of this area here, right? Especially if we break through this weekly. Do you guys have any questions about any of that? I got a short open and my stop loss is at 21,250. I'm not sure if I stick with my plan or move it up. Here's the thing. If you have a trading plan, you always stick to your trading plan. I don't, like my plan has not changed one bit. Literally all week I've done the exact same trade, and that is let's get rid of all this here. I've done the exact same trade all week, right? I shorted here, took profit here, shorted here, missed it, compounded, took profit here and here. And again, I'm going to short here, take profit here, hopefully here again too. If we break up above here, my stop loss will be triggered and, we'll move on to the next trade. It's been the same thing. I haven't changed my plan. I've stuck with the plan. I've kept my stop losses and everything where they are. I've been, of course, updating myself and keeping an eye on possible changes in the chart, but whenever you make a plan, stick to your plan. The moment that you start adjusting it, I think is when you will end up losing. Where you will end up losing more money, right? Is where you start deviating, because if you have a plan, when you're in clear mind, when you're clear of mind and you have a plan, like let's say yours, you said you had the 250 stop loss or whatever, you're clear of mind, you take the trade, you have your plan, and you execute it. Well, when you're, dollars away from your stop loss and you start to panic, that is not when you're going to make a sound decision on what you should do with your trade. You're not going to make a good choice at that time, right? It's just when you're under that stress and under that pressure, if you're not prepared or stick to your plan, you're not going to make a good choice. So stick with what you originally, decided to do in some peace of mind. Whatever, trading decision that you decided to do there is what you should do, right? Because in that moment when you were of peace of mind and you were doing your analysis, you made that setup for a reason. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that definitely could have been the entry there. It looks like it was a nice rejection. I mean, honestly, let me pull this up here, fixed range. So, and I'm going to hide these. Yeah, so, we rejected from the 618 here, the 61866 and the value area high here. And again, the 66 and the value area high here as well. And we can see that there, as we go a little bit higher each time, we can see that the RSI is slightly fading. So we are seeing a little bit of bearish divergence there. Yeah, this very well could have been a good entry. We'll have to wait and see. Being that I already entered here and took profit here. I mean, here's the thing. We could just do this for even a bit of a time yet, right? Or we could do something like something like this, where we just range, kind of in this zone for a while, right? Especially over the weekend. What typically happens with weekend price action is that we go sideways. So wherever BTC does close today, right? I would say like around 4 p.m., but especially like its daily close, wherever that close is, I would expect it to range within 1%, maybe 2% of that all weekend until Sunday night, CME opens. That's exactly what I would expect to happen. Is it possible that we get a weekend move? Sure. Is it likely? No. No, it's not. more often than not, weekends just trade sideways. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens here with this one. It could have been an entry for me. I don't I've already entered here and I took some profit here. I don't see a reason for I I personally don't want to enter here. I would rather enter, up here like I said earlier with that convergence between the trend line and the top of the channel. How much percent do you take on your take profit one? 25%, or it depends? Yeah, it depends. I mean, I usually like to break it up into quarters. So, like, I opened up here, I closed 50% here. I opened back up that 50%, missed it here. I opened up another 25%, closed 50% here, 25% here. Opened up another 25% here, and I would do 50% here. And then, yeah, I take profit. At the midline, I've been taking 50% profit, and down here, I'm taking 25% profit, is what I've been doing for my channel trading. And that leaves me 25% for a runner. So, like, as an example, I opened up 100% of my trade here. I took 50% profit here, took 25% profit here. Let's say it goes like this and then drops. I still have 25% running down, right? So it's a really big thing about trading is to be sure that you cut your losers and you let your winners run. And that's part of, a channel, is that eventually there is going to be a channel breakout, right? Eventually there will be a breakout. What the hell? Either to the upside or to the downside. So at some point, price will go like this, or it will go like that, right? And that's why I like trading deviations, because it traps traders. It makes people think okay, we're going to break down out of this, but really, we end up doing a deviation, we gain acceptance and come back in. Here, people are like, okay, we're going to break out of this now, we're going to pump out, but then really we deviate, gain acceptance, and then come back in, and we simply continue to range. That's why I love deviation trades so much, because people are always so eager to break out of a channel. And as you guys know, yeah, as you guys know, Bitcoin, especially over the last year, has spent a lot of time ranging, just like in these small, really tight ranges where people are just like, it's going to break out, it's going to break out, and it just continues to range, right? It's max pain for everybody. People who are, short in here, people who are long and short in this zone, the longers get really excited here and then they get disappointed on this, right? The shorters get really excited here and then get disappointed on this. And as that continues to happen, it's just it really messes a lot of traders up, where like people who are longing here and they see something like this and it comes back down here, they're like, shit, maybe I should close my long. I'm going to close it at a loss. And then it goes like this. It's just that these ranges can really chop people up and get people messed up on their positions. And that's a lot of the reason why I like to trade them. I think that it's really simple if you know it's going to range, right? It's hard if you constantly think it's going to break out. Yeah, this would be a great 1 hour close if we closed like this. Maybe we can just come back down like this again. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm not going to take any new trades today. I do like this, the convergence here. If we do get the pump, could be a nice area for a rejection. LTC, I think there's some interesting things brewing there that I will update us on in the coming weeks here. But yeah, right now it's the weekend. Review your week. Look at the trades that you took. Ask yourself what went well, what did not go well. Take note of it, and start to prepare for next week. And like I said, on Sunday night, but especially Monday morning, I'll get on. We'll do a live stream. I'll release some charts, and we'll do a market update video, and we'll plan for the week moving forward from there, and hopefully we'll get some good trades too, rather than just sticking in this really tight range, right? This has been, I mean, this was very welcomed, but man, like this slow grind taking forever with every move, it sucks. It really does. It's hard to sit through and trade, so hopefully we'll get some volatility coming in soon. All right, guys, I'm gonna cap it off there. If I have time today, I don't want to make any major promises. I've kept this live stream shorter than normal, so I've kept this live stream at about 30 minutes rather than the usual hour and a half. If I have time today, I will do like a 5-minute market update video that encompasses basically what we talked about in this live stream. It'll be very, very brief. And just sort of like an easier way to take in on some of the information that we talked about today. But altogether, guys, those of you who took those trades with me this week, great job. That was awesome. We had 4 successful take profits on our trades. Like I said, shorting here, profit here, shorting here. Some of you may have taken profit here. I missed it, compounded, took profit, had another one here, took profit here, and we're looking at a possible 5th to end the week. Otherwise, that is it, and we'll look forward to next week. So great work, guys, and enjoy your weekends, okay? We'll see you on Monday.